you for joining us on this abridged version of Nationwide. I am Lami Ali. President Muhammad Buhari has approved the appointments of Dr. Oluwatoyin Shakirat as the Substantive Accountant General of the Federation. In a statement, the Director of Communications, Office of the Head of Service of the Federation, Mohammed Abdullahi Ahmed, says the head of the civil service, Dr. Folasha Adeyemi's notes that the appointment takes effect from Thursday, 18th of May, and the appointee is to resume duty immediately. Meanwhile, President Muhammad Buhari has directed the immediate resumption of the new governing council of the Northeast Development Commission on acting capacity, pending Senate's confirmation, in order to avoid leadership vacuum in the commission. In a statement, the Permanent Secretary, Ministry of Humanitarian Affairs, Disaster Management and Social Development, Sani Nasir Gwezo, says President Buhari also approves the immediate resumption of the new Managing Director and Chief Executive Officer of the Northeast Development Commission, Umar Abubakar Hashidu, in acting capacity, pending confirmation by the Senate. This follows the expiration of the tenure of the former board and Managing Director of the Commission on May 7th this year. The President has also approved that Buhari Bali takes over as the acting chairman alongside 10 other members of the governing board. In the meantime, President Muhammad Buhari has called on Nigerians to always walk on the path of duty to the nation if they want to see the country achieve new heights. He made the call while granting audience to his media support group, the Buhari Media Organization, whom he described as a model of national sacrifice. State House correspondent Adamu Sambu brings us the details.
Don't think I have enough words to express my gratitude to you individually and collectively.
Showering praises on members of the Buhari Media Organization for volunteering their time and energy throughout the 8 years of his administration, President Muhammad Buhari described their sacrifice as beyond measure and indeed remarkable. The BMO, he said, had given him inspiration and hope for a better Nigeria in the future. Going down memory lane, the president recalled how elated he felt when his immediate predecessor, President Goodluck Ebele Jonathan, called him to concede defeat in 2015, describing that singular act and the voluntary services by members of the BMO as un-Nigerian.
Occasionally, I read your outbursts in the press. And I wonder which type of Nigerians you are. I thank you very much. I'm extremely grateful for what you have been doing voluntarily. I appreciate it.
Both the Senior Special Assistant to the President on Media and Publicity, Garba Shehu, as well as the Chairman and Coordinator of the BMO, Ni Akinshuju, takes pride in the fact that their sacrifices were never in vain, as President Buhari made the country proud.
We are privileged to have been offered this opportunity to serve your administration, and as we prepare to leave, again, I say that we feel extremely humbled that in spite of all of the pressures around you, all of the ministers of government having 1, 2, 3 projects, asking for what is left of your time to commission this or that project.
Posterity will judge you favorably as you leave this office in the blaze of glory. We seek your permission to continue to be of service to the incoming administration and of course to our great party, the All Progressive Congress.
Formed in 2014, the Buhari Media Organization sustained itself through voluntary assistance by non-governmental organizations. From the State House, Adamu Sambu, NTA News.
We go to the legislature now. The House of Representatives describes as malicious reports in some sections of the media that it allegedly received $15 million from the executive to approve the 22.7 trillion naira ways and means advances. A statement from the House spokesman and chairman Committee on Media and Publicity, Benjamin Kalu, explains that based on the recommendations of relevant committees, the House temporarily deferred approval and called for further engagements with the executive. The engagement was to enable comprehensive and meticulous deliberation to know what interventions the executive intended for the request. Ways and Means is a loan facility from the Central Bank of Nigeria used by government to fund budget shortfalls. The statement implored the media to desist from disseminating unfounded allegations that have potential of tarnishing the image of the institution. Now, the President-elect Bola Tinubu has expressed deep shock over the attack on United States Embassy convoy just hours after his telephone call with the Secretary of State, Anthony Blinken. The incoming president sympathized with the U.S. government and families of the 4 personnel killed in the horrific attack at Ogbaru, Anambra State. A statement by Tunde Rahman indicates that the President-elect has been making his own inquiries into the persons responsible and their motives, and will do all he can to ensure the perpetrators are brought to justice. The President-elect's media team emphasizes that security is one of the cardinal issues on the agenda of Tinubu and will give it priority attention on resumption of office, which is why it featured prominently in his discussion with Secretary Blinken. The constitution alteration bill for local government autonomy is likely to pass the hurdle in the 10th Assembly, as members-elect have resolved to revisit the bill with improved engagements. Ignatius Unko spoke to some of them as the induction retreat for National Assembly members-elect.
The clamor for the autonomy of local government administration in Nigeria is as old as the existence of the third tier of government. Since 1999, when Nigeria returned to democratic rule, the journey to strengthen local government administration in the country by granting it administrative and financial autonomy has been reinvigorated, but unfortunately, the legislative interventions by the various assemblies failed to receive the favor of state assemblies. Now, the question is, will the 10th Assembly jettison the local government autonomy bill or revisit it with more vigor?
We should try and see whether this time around it will go through. Because one of the bad things that will happen to this country is having this local government autonomy.
You cannot say you stop trying because you tried 1-2 times and it didn't work. I just told you about devolution of powers.
The failure of the bill at the state assemblies over the years has become worrisome in view of the correlation between the autonomy of that tier of government and national development.
The need to empower the local government is very, very key and fundamental because they are the ones directly in touch with the grassroots.
In the 10th Assembly, the bill is expected to receive a more robust lobbying and improved consultations and engagement of members of the public.
The 10th National Assembly will continue to jealously guard and protect the issue of autonomy of local government. Will continue to levy for it because that is the only panacea.
You must consult, you must engage both the citizens, and the executive arm of government and all stakeholders in the process of lawmaking.
The constitutional amendment that will be carried out by the 10th National Assembly will be the 6th alteration of the 1999 Constitution. Ignatius Nkwo, NTA News.
Now, fears of imminent flooding in several states in Nigeria from possible break of Lake Nyos in Cameroon have been allayed with the completion and inauguration of the Kachimbella Dam in Taraba State. The hydropower and water supply components of the dam also means a new lease of life for benefiting communities. Ekene Ndulwe reports.
Kachimbella Multipurpose Dam, a pride to behold, sitting on River Castinala in Taraba State. Its completion provides a buffer to the imminent break of the structurally weak Lake Nyos in Cameroon, providing solutions to impending flood challenges from that area.
Even though
President Buhari is pleased with the project and reiterates commitment to deliver on his promises of better infrastructure, even with few weeks to expiration of his tenure.
The realization of this project demonstrates our commitment to achieving the target of electricity vision 30-30-30, which entails the supply of 30 gigawatts of electricity by 2030, with renewable energy contributing at least 30% to the energy mix to accelerate the increase in access to electricity.
The dam is also designed to supply 40 megawatts of electricity, transmitting power to communities in Taraba State and to the national grid in Yandev, Benin State.
40 megawatts is not a small thing to add on to the grid. So to improve our output, to improve our supply, to improve our services to the people of Nigeria. The storage capacity of the dam is about 500 million cubic meters. That's a lot of water. And it's going to be used for water supply, 60,000 cubic meter per day, water treatment plant to supply Takum and environs.
The irrigation aspect of the dam is one that has capacity of covering 2,000 hectares of irrigable land in Taraba and Benue states. The joy on the faces of the people of Kachimbella is palpable as they relish the economic activities the dam is bringing to the once sleeping community. From Kachimbella in Taraba State, Ekene Ndulwe, NTA News.
Following the Federal Executive Council approval for Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria to enter into a public-private partnership agreement with a private firm to develop 6 hectares out of its 9 hectares piece of land in Ikeja, Lagos, the investing firm Fish Valley Investments and Properties Limited has formally received documents to facilitate commencement of work. Anthony Folson brings us the details.
Information and Culture Minister Lai Mohammed presenting the documents to the Managing Director of the investing firm, Mura Osho. The minister said the process, which began in 2010, went through due process before getting Federal Executive Council approval.
This PPP is a win-win partnership for the FRSC and the Fish Valley Investments and Properties Limited. The impending construction of the mixed-use luxurious hotel, high-end residential accommodation, and social amenities will create hundreds of direct and indirect jobs, thus fulfilling a cardinal program of the Buhari administration.
With the approval granted, subsequent processes by relevant agencies responsible for supervising public-private partnership projects were carried out as required by law.
Like the ICRC, which is charged with the responsibility of supervising all PPP projects, were carried out while the necessary certificate of compliance, as required by law, was issued by the Commission.
The PPP project will assist FRCN to transform and beautify its broadcast academy environment. The Director General, Federal Radio Corporation of Nigeria, Mansour Liman, while expressing delight, acknowledged that broadcasting is capital intensive and cannot thrive on budgetary allocations alone.
Therefore, the need to source alternative funds through PPP projects such as this. The corporation will in the future continue to pursue other PPP projects on its other lands spread across the country for increased internally generated revenue for the corporation.
Where there is construction, you have ripple effect. A lot of people will be gainfully employed. We also want to use this opportunity to thank all the stakeholders who have taken part, who waited for us to go through our regulatory overview.
This job has been done transparently.
The construction of the residential accommodation will in no small way contribute to the present administration's effort to address the nation's housing deficit. In Lagos, Anthony Forson, NTA News.
The National Drug Law Enforcement Agency, NDLEA, has initiated a nationwide operation called Operation Map-Up to crack down on drug joints ahead of the May 29th inauguration. The operation aims to eliminate the facilitators of crime and violence by targeting illicit substances. and their distributors. Within the first few days, 534 suspects have been arrested, and significant quantities of drugs like cocaine, heroin, methamphetamine, tramadol, codeine-based syrup, cannabis sativa, and other psychoactive substances have been seized across various states, including Lagos, Kano, Abuja, Kaduna, Rivers, Bayelsa, Adamawa, Osun, Benue, and Plateau states. Bringing collective urgency to a task that must be done, the untold story of cancer is the focus of conversations as the African Union of Broadcasting takes into consideration the promotion of public health agenda in the media. Onengie Fanface has the story.
Data from the Federal Ministry of Health pegs cancer mortality rate in Africa at 693,487 in 2018. In Nigeria, 72,000 deaths and 202,000 new cases are recorded every year.
Why is cancer control a priority? 40% of cancers are preventable. 40% are treatable if detected early.
We change the narrative of highlighting the challenges all the time and look at places, things that had worked in other places, and find a way, of how that came to be and try to replicate.
Karen Nakawala was a victim but survived cancer and now is engaged in raising public awareness about the disease.
If I ask how many women are going for screening here, I don't think all the hands are going to go up because just the process itself is very intrusive. But guess what? It's a 5-minute procedure that is uncomfortable that could save your life. And who can change that mindset? Who can change the perception? It's us, the people, with the power of the pen.
Hers and the story of others, survivors and fatalities, informed the designation of a session to discussions on how public service broadcasters can put Africa's public health agenda at the fore of broadcasting on the continent.
And as people of media, we need to give a maximum of information about cancer to our population. We speak about a lot of diseases, but not so much about cancer. And cancer is now a big problem of health in Africa.
We have dedicated health programs. For example, in the case of NTA, we have health options, that is for the news, and then even the program directorate, we have health programs. So that is how NTA has engaged the health issues towards promoting healthy living. And of course, it's not only cancer. There are a lot of other health challenges, communicable and non-communicable diseases that we sensitize the public about.
Cancer is a main concern of Africa. And then, as a media, we have to write, to speak, and even to go to interview those who are suffering of cancer so that people may know how we can do, what we can manage with this.
Increasing media coverage of cancer and other public health issues, experts agree, will raise awareness and educate people about prevention, access to medication and early diagnosis, so that more people like Karen can survive cancer and hopefully turn down the number of new cases. In Abuja, Onengie Fanface, NTA News.
And that does it on Nationwide. We thank you for watching. Join us at 6, 7 and 9 for more stories.